Hello, and welcome to week 10 of Side Piece Poker. My name is Matt Rosga, and as always, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here and watch my content. Today's episode will focus on recapping February, my second month of poker played, doing some profit loss analysis, doing some side piece analysis, and recapping just a lot of the poker I played. We're also doing some goal setting for March, and talking about how I feel about how I've played overall. So without further ado, let's dive into this week's poker. This week's poker was all played at Hollywood Park Casino in the 3-5 no limit game. Like always, I bought in for $300, the maximum on the table. This week had very mixed results. On Tuesday, my last session of February, I won $174. I felt like I played well. I played for around 2 hours and was happy to walk away with some money. Last night, however, I did not play well. Honestly, if I had to describe my play, I played like a dumbass. Well, that's not entirely true. I played well for the first hour and a half, and then I made one really bad decision that cost me $300. Well, it cost me $400, honestly, because I was up at the time. And then I got unlucky with my second bullet of the night, so I wound up losing $400. We'll talk about that in the next segment, which we'll dive into right now, my poker evaluation. Let's start out with the positive note of the week. On Tuesday, I took home $174, and I played for around 2 hours. The first hour of the session was terrible. My flush draws were just not completing, so I chipped down to around $125 when I pick up King 5 offsuit. Long story short is I get shoved on the turn, which at that point I had a pair of kings and a pair of fives. I don't believe there was a flush draw on the board. Actually, I think there was a flush draw on the board. So I guess the guy put me on a flush. Semi-unimportant. So I call his shove on me. So at that point I mentioned I had $150, $125 realistically. So before the turn there was around $25 to $30 in betting. So I have like $100 left in my stack. He puts me all in. I have 2 pair. That's good enough. I make the call. He doesn't show yet. Turn comes a king, or river comes another king. So I have kings full of fives. Like I know I'm good. I turn over my hand. He mucks. We get back to almost even. So the next hand that won me the profit realistically is I had a pair of nines. Gets raised up to like $25-$30. I think it gets raised to 30. One of these short stack players goes all in for 47. It gets 3 callers, including myself. Turn comes like 10-7-7. Sorry, flop comes 10-7-7. Rivers another 10. So there's 2 pair on the board. The river is like a 3, something like that, some inconsequential card. Checks through, so there's no betting after that all in. Just checks through a bunch of times. And then I turn over my nines and I'm good. One player who I wound up talking to for the most of the night showed ace jack. So could have bluffed, didn't feel like bluffing. I take that down with my nines and I leave with 174. I had 199 and I'm about to leave. I'm putting my chips in the rack and I'm like, all right, one more hand, sure. I get ace king offsuit, bump it up 25, get a snap call. And then the turn, I don't even remember what the flop is. But it was something that didn't help me. And a guy blasts for like 100 something. And I fold and I leave. So I profit 174. That's called me making good decisions. And then if we look at last night's play on Friday, we can talk about me making bad decisions. So about an hour in, from some context first. Dude next to me, to my right, drunk as shit. Like absolutely sauced, blitzed, whatever you want to call it. The dealer was Chinese, she said. And he kept saying sushi to her, which, like, is pretty racist, if we're being honest. And, like, something you shouldn't do. And that rudeness from him is why I wanted to take all of his money. And why, honestly, it led to my bad decision. So, I'm up to, like, $400. I'm up $100 in profit. Every time I'd shown aggression towards this man, he'd folded. He'd, like, make wild raises for, like, 45, and then fold if I made it 100. So, like, I don't know. Drunk maniac. Whatever. So I get ace 10 in the hijack position. My stack is around $400. I believe he bumps it up to $40. No, it doesn't. I think it was like $30. $30, I make the call. The flop comes ace of diamonds, queen of clubs, and the 9 of diamonds. He bets out $75. I call. Well, I don't know if that was a good decision. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I thought he was just trying to bluff me off of it. Maybe if I check raise him there, he folds. But, like, I doubt it. So I make the call. That brings me down around $100 in the middle for me. And my stack now is around $300. The turn comes the 5 of diamonds, completing the flush draw. And immediately he goes all in. What do you do here? The answer is you fold. If you have top pair and this, you fold. But as I said, this guy's being a drunk fucking idiot, and like, I don't know, it's pissing me off a little bit. So I think about it for a little bit, and he starts this theatric games. He's like, oh, call, chips, like I need chips, call, like if he calls, I lose. So that should tell me he doesn't have diamonds, which is what it told me. What that doesn't mean is that top pair is good. Because if he's doing this, what does he have? He either has a set. Do I beat that? No. He has 2 pair. Do I beat that? No. The only thing I beat maybe if he has like king jack and he's being a fucking idiot and trying to draw out on a straight and like trying to shut me down, or he has air and he's really just trying to, I don't even know what he's trying to do, trying to be a poker superstar. I think about it and I let my pride get the best of me, which is what we're going to talk about in my March focus, my March goals. But let my pride get the best of me and I call. He turns over ace 9. I'm drawn to a 10. Turn comes 7 of clubs. I lose. So what do we learn there? Well, first my top pair loses to his 2 pair. What do I learn there? Sometimes you can make the right read, but you got to think about, do you beat it? And my answer, like, I didn't. If he's not doing that with just a queen. He's not doing that with just a 9. I let my emotions get involved, which is like the fastest way to lose money in poker and something you don't do. So, fuck me, right? I throw away 300, 400 bucks there, just really, really, really stupid. So I buy in for $100 with the table minimum, and I'm going to play smart. I'm at around $75, like 20 minutes later, when I get 10, I think it was 10 deuce in the big blind, checks through, or just callers, I call, I don't raise it up. Flop comes like 10-10 jack. So I'm in the big blind. One of the later position players raised it up to 25. I smooth call, as is one other guy. Or one guy in front of me calls, so I smooth call. Because like, it was rainbow. I'm not really scared about a flush at that point. You'll see I lose to the flush, but I'm not really scared about the flush. So I smooth call, hoping to get paid. Because maybe they'll see a small stack shove. Like I might get called in most scenarios, but I might not. And like I want to get paid. I have 3 of a kind there. Like I'm well ahead. So there's 1 club on the board, which you'll see later. So the turn comes another club. I check because I'm first to act, and I'm hoping one of them raise and I can just all in. Check, river another club. I'm like, all right, if he has clubs, I just have bad luck today. I go all in for my remaining 50 bucks. Fold, call, it turns over ace king of clubs. Like, that sucks. So he walked into that flush. I really don't think with how much is in my stack that what I did impacted that. I think on maybe after the flop, if I go all in, they fold, but like, I don't know. Risk, I don't think I had 75 bucks. I think I had more like 55, 60. So after that $25 bet, I had like at most 30 bucks left. And like, that's not scaring anyone off. So I think that ace king's calling no matter what. If he doesn't, that's like super nitty. I was hoping to get paid, especially after that turn. He's committed, so maybe I do go all in there and hope that like make the clubs pay for another card. But I really thought one of them would raise it and try to bluff me off of it, since I had a small stack. Like, I don't know, dumb. Less upset about that one. I thought that one was fine. I think more times than not that flush isn't going to complete and I might get paid off. Because I kind of want to make it look like I'm playing for the flush. And so if that misses, I'll shove to make it look like a shutdown bet. And then they'll just call me thinking like, oh, 30 bucks. And then I'll get paid. And then I'll be back in it. But no, the flush completed and I lost. The real highlight of this, well, first on Tuesday, I thought I played really well. I had a couple nice 3 bets. I got some folds. I had ace-king offsuit once this guy raised it up to $35. He later told me he had 9s. I 3-bet to 100 and he folded, so we didn't even have to see a flop and I took down some money. That's a flip and like, I don't know. I don't want to be walking out flips. I'll shut it down while I can. So that was good. And the bad is just my emotions. It's just don't play with your emotions. And I'm really going to have to work on that in March. I'm going to talk about that later. I cost myself 400 bucks just being a dumbass, honestly. And that I think I really have to work on. A lot of my bad sessions that I can think back on is just me getting ahead of myself and not thinking it through before I made a decision. It's gambling, and You don't want to gamble. You want to play poker. So that's my poker evaluation for the week. The rest of this video is going to be talking about my February recap. So let's dive into the calendar. In February, I played 7 times, split between Hollywood Park Casino, Horseshoe Casino in Baltimore, and Maryland Live Casino. I played 7 times and profited $772. You can see I played on a handful of different days of the week, and overall it's profitable. We like that. February was a great month for me, honestly. I felt like I played a lot better. I learned a lot. The start of March was bad with this last session, but February was great. My profit loss stats are shown right here. $772 over 12.5 hours played for an hourly rate of $61.76. That's awesome. My return on investment is 36.76%, which, like, you'd invest in that. That's great. We're playing great poker. Other than yesterday. That brings my profit loss since I started the channel up to $1,640 over 28.5 hours, for an hourly rate of $57.54 and a return on investment of 37.27%. That's awesome. That's super encouraging, and I really hope that I continue to build on that in March and don't let this one stupid session to start off the month get in the way. Some more advanced stats, if you will. You can see I played 7 sessions, so my dollar per session is $110.29, which on the channel brings it to $109.33 per session. Like, that's awesome. I'll take that. Hopefully, as I keep moving up, that keeps rising. Obviously, yesterday didn't help, but we'll hope to bounce back in my next session. My extra time this month was a little bit longer because I went on some busy days, especially in Baltimore for some promotions. And one Saturday night when it was raining in LA, I had to wait for like over an hour. That was a lot. So my extra time's a little bit longer this month for 8.6 hours. Probably 8.5 hours. I don't know, I got 0.6. But it brings $39.59 per hour. That's awesome. Like, I'll take over $30 an hour. That's a great hourly for a side hustle. And I really hope to build upon that. After 2 months, you'll see with 16.6 extra time that I am bringing home an hourly side piece rate, as I call it, of $37.70. Like, it's fantastic. We really hope to build on that in March. My final profit and loss stats after month 2 brings us to $1,640. Yeah, we like that. After taking out the $25 for Sharon's giveaway and the $25 we're giving away this week, that brings my bankroll to $4,590. $1,590 that is profit, $3,000 is my starter money. In my week 5 video, I said I was going to spend money on the Lakers-Mavericks game, spend some of this extra earnings, but LeBron's hurt, and like, I'm not going to go to the game and spend $200 to not see LeBron. So we're going to wait a little bit and buy some Lakers tickets when LeBron's back from his foot injury. Speaking of giveaways, as I just touched on, let's do this week's giveaway. This wheel has the name of everyone who entered my giveaway. I entered everyone who comments on the last video. So let's give it a spin and see who wins. I want to thank everyone who entered for entering. I really appreciate your support and taking the time to watch my video. And our winner this week is Jason Wallen. Congrats, my guy. I'll be reaching out on how to pay you. Thank you for entering, and thank you to everyone who entered. Good luck next month. Hopefully March is positive, and we'll be able to do another giveaway. I really enjoy these, and I hope they can continue. So now that the giveaway is complete, let's move into our March focus. Simply put, my March focus is don't be a dumbass. Just don't let your feelings get involved. Every time I've lost money, it's been emotional decisions, whether it's someone like talking shit, someone just being really drunk and being erratic, someone who I thought wasn't playing well, giving me obvious signs that they're doing one thing, and then me like reading it. It's just trying to bluff catch without having the proper bluff catcher. And that's what this last one was. So his all-in told me he didn't have diamonds. So it's, what do you bluff catch there with? You have maybe an ace of diamonds, or I don't remember if the ace of diamonds is on the board. You do that with, if you have a diamond and you might hit, even then that's kind of loose. You do that if you have low diamonds. If you have a lower flush, you do that. If you have a set, you could consider doing that. You don't do that with top pair. What made me do that? That I was being a dumbass. That I was thinking emotionally and not rationally. So my March focus, along with building upon the thinking in ranges, because I think that's a more technical goal, So don't be a dumbass. Is really think through every decision before I make them. Don't rush into things. And just, if my brain is telling me no, but my heart is telling me yes, we're going to say no. We're not going to gamble. That's my March focus. Just really continue to be methodical with every decision. Don't be a dumbass. Let's take a look at my March goals. My March goals, similar to my February goals, are to commit a maximum of 6 to 8 hours per week. Right now, work's busy. It's busy season. I'm sure anyone else in the tax field can tell you how busy life is right now. So 6 to 8 hours still feels comfortable. I'm able to do it on the weekends or maybe the occasional weeknight. I want my win rate, rather than doing big blinds per hour, I think that was a little futile. That's more of like an online type of win rate. I think dollars per hour is a little more reasonable for what we're doing here. So I want my win rate to be greater than $30 per hour. The first 2 months were, and let's make it 3 in a row. We're off to a rough start there, aren't we? But we're going to bounce back. And my side piece goal will be to start saving for the World Series of Poker. So last month, it was the Lakers tickets, but I'm going to pivot off of that a little bit. The World Series of Poker is in Vegas every summer, so this year it starts at the end of May and runs to, I think, the middle of July. And I want to play in some of the events. I think it would be a great time to go get some content, maybe talk to some other poker creators. I would love to interview some poker creators, but we'll talk about that later. So my goal is to have around $2,000 in profit that I can reasonably go and buy into some of the events. I think the first event I want to play is the Mystery Bounty, which is at the beginning of June, and the buy-in fet's $1,000. And while I could take some of that out of my bankroll, I think it would be very cool to start focusing now to save for that and make that a goal. So over March, April, May, I'd love to make like $2,000 and then put it towards that. And who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen there? Maybe we'll run good. We'll sun run a little bit, as Rampage says, and we'll take home some money. So that's my side piece goal for March. I think maybe next month I'll see if I want to go to a Lakers game. If LeBron's back, then I'll spend some side piece money on that. But for now, it's just gonna be start saving up to that $2,000 mark and try to take home some World Series of Poker money. Right now, $1,590. We're close to that. But yeah, I'd like to have $2,000 set aside that I can go to Vegas this summer comfortably, play some tournaments, and not have that feeling that I'm burning my bankroll by doing that. So I'd like to have some profit saved up that I can sustainably do that. Oh, also on the topic of bankroll is game selection. So right now I'm playing 3-5 because the maximum buy-in is $300, and I started my bankroll at $3,000, so that was 10 buy-ins. And now that we're up to, what is that, $4,590, we're a little bit more comfortable there. I think when I hit $5,000 in total, I'm gonna for sure move up to the 5-5 game at Hollywood Park. I also might see March through at the 3-5 table, just to be a little more comfortable. We'll see. That's my target goal for right now, is when I get to $5,000 to move up to that 5-5 game, start playing a little bit bigger. I'm getting more comfortable, and I feel like it would be a good time to move up when I hit that $5,000 mark. So either when I hit that $5,000 mark during March or at the end of March, we'll do a little bit of evaluation, and we'll see what game we want to play. But that's my bankroll management right there. I hope just to be sustainable there. The reasoning for all that is nights like last night. When I make a dumb decision, which hopefully won't happen much in the future, or like the other aces bad beat I talked about, when I lose a stack, when I lose a buy-in, I don't want to be like fearful that I burnt most of my money. I want that to be less than 10% of the money I have committed towards poker. And that just feels sustainable, that I can make high EV decisions and not be fearful of that risk of ruin where I'm burning my poker money. So I think right now, the 3-5 game is still comfortable. Like, the action's big. If you've played a Hollywood Park Casino, you'll see it. Since everyone only has 60 buy-ins, it plays really weird, honestly. That's kind of besides the point. I think it's still a good point where I can, because ultimately that's what we're doing at the table. You're learning. And I think it's a good place where I can still learn comfortably and sustainably. If I'm learning some of these things at a table that I can't afford, then I'm being really stupid and not sustainable. But I can afford this $300 buy-in right now, and I'm going to stay there for a little bit. I really want to move up to that 5-5 game soon, because ultimately that's what you want to do here. You want to move up, so hopefully when you're crushing it, you're making more money. But I'm learning still, as are most people. So I'm going to keep learning the 3-5 table, and then in next month's video, we'll do a little reassessment on which game I'm going to play primarily. So that's a little discussion on my goal setting and my bankroll. Let's move into the wrap up. Thank you so much for recapping February with me. I enjoyed making this video, and I really hope you enjoyed watching. As we wrap up, I want to shout out one of my followers and good friends, Hanan, who had a work casino night and used the tips he learned on Side Piece Poker to clean up and take some money from his coworkers. Take a look at these chips. He started with about a quarter of the stack and ran it up. So good job, Hanan. If you watch his channel and you play poker, please send me some pictures of your chips when you win. I'll happily feature you on this channel. So that concludes week 10 of Side Piece Poker. Please come back for week 11, where hopefully we'll be playing some better poker than I played last night. So I'm Matt Rosga. I'm your host of Side Piece Poker. Thank you so much for watching, and come back for week 11 of Side Piece Poker.